What's up, Dolphin Nation? What's up, NFL fans? What's up, PhinsTalk family? Today we're going to go ahead and talk about the fact that the Dolphins should go after the former Baltimore Ravens head coach, John Harbaugh. You heard that correctly when I said the former Baltimore Ravens head coach. The Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh have mutually parted ways. I'm going to go ahead and play to you a clip of Ian Rappaport reporting that. And then I'll go ahead and read to you two articles really quick, and then give you my final thoughts on why the Dolphins should really try to not only pursue a GM search, which they have started, but also pursue John Harbaugh and basically fire Mike McDaniel after 4 seasons, because a major upgrade and a major difference between John Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel exists, in my opinion. But let me go ahead and get to you the clip of Ian Rappaport reporting the mutual parting of ways.
Yeah, a dramatic decision did not come about in the matter of minutes, Tom. It really was the product of several conversations between Eric DeCosta, the general manager, between John Harbaugh himself, between players soliciting plenty of opinions from players, from coaches. And yes, it did seem like John Harbaugh himself, to my understanding, was surprised, felt he was in good standing, wanted to run it back with his current staff, including the offensive coordinator Todd Monken, including defensive coordinator Zach Orr, planned to be with the Ravens for years to come until he was informed that he is out. Now, as far as why John Harbaugh is out, among the reasons, it is not just they didn't go far enough in the playoffs. My understanding, after talking to several sources involved, is that simply Harbaugh lost the locker room. But at the end, players just simply had doubts about whether or not they wanted to play for him as their head coach. The opinions of players, Judy, was valued here. It was listened to. It went to all levels, and it's not just Lamar Jackson. Now, it sounded like to me, with Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson not being on the same page, and it continued throughout the locker room. Maybe not 100%, but more than enough for the Baltimore Ravens to say among the reasons to move on, this was a big one. John Harbaugh, of course, out now as Ravens coach.
All right, guys. Now I'm going to read to you a couple articles, one from the Miami Herald and one from Fins Fanatic, and then give you my thoughts on why the Dolphins should pursue John Harbaugh as a potential replacement for Mike McDaniel. And this article is written by Isaiah Smalls II from the Miami Herald. Will the Dolphins look at ex-Ravens coach John Harbaugh? Weaver interviews for Falcons. Weaver interviews elsewhere. Actually, it won't now. Sorry, guys, that won't give me the access anymore. I had the access earlier, but now it's not giving me the access. This is again from Fins Fanatic, and I apologize. I could not read to you the Miami Herald. It was giving me access earlier, but when I went to read it a second time, it stopped giving me access. But this one from Fins Fanatic, I'll read to you and then give you my thoughts. The Miami Dolphins may be looking for a new general manager, but they may find a new head coach instead. Mike McDaniel was safe, but now he's not. At least he shouldn't be. The news hit the internet with a massive shock, as the Baltimore Ravens and John Harbaugh decided to part ways, giving the Dolphins a massive opportunity to change the direction of their franchise. Making this more intriguing is the fact that the Dolphins have reached out to the Chargers to interview Chad Alexander for their GM vacancy. Why does it matter? Alexander had spent 20 years with the Ravens before joining John's brother Jim Harbaugh in Los Angeles. John Harbaugh is everything Stephen Ross needs to turn the Miami Dolphins around. The Dolphins need a culture change, and Harbaugh brings it. They need a coach who commands respect, and he does that too. They also could use an infusion of what it takes to win in the NFL, something Ross hasn't had since he began his ownership. Yes, we can check that one as well. And again, this is a post from me and Rappaport. The Ravens and longtime decorated head coach John Harbaugh are parting ways after days of discussion per insiders. Major decision in Baltimore. Miami's owner may like McDaniel, but how can you like someone enough to give him another shot when you and then a potential Hall of Fame Hall of Fame head coach? We get it. McDaniel is a nice guy, but is he going to lead the team to the Super Bowl? Nope. Harbaugh may not either, but he has the chops to build a team that is powerful, disciplined, and consistent. McDaniel in 4 years has never shown that. There is far too much to like about Harbaugh, and despite the risk that come with hiring someone like that, the good outweigh it by a mile. For years, Ross wanted to land Jim Harbaugh. He failed every time. Now he has a chance to get his brother. He can't afford to fail on this. Harbaugh has become the number one priority of the Dolphins. He has to be as important as the search for the GM. But unlike the Dolphins, keeping McDaniel to find a GM that will potentially work with him, getting Harbaugh on board before the GM won't hurt, especially if the next GM is Alexander. Ross has one more shot to right the ship. Hiring Harbaugh would renew the fan base's faith and build more excitement for a team that lacks it. It's a big move that will come with plenty of competition, but it's competition Ross could win if he wants to. He only has to pick up the phone. At every turn, from Jeff Fisher to Peyton Manning to Tom Brady and to Sean Payton, Ross has failed. Maybe he's afraid he will fail again and won't pursue him. That too would be a typical epic fail. Josina Anderson also says that Mike McDaniel might be in trouble because of the firing of John Harbaugh. But Stephen Ross needs to act quickly and fast because of the fact that multiple teams will be interested in hiring John Harbaugh. This would be a huge, an even bigger hiring than hiring the GM. And I think if John Harbaugh would be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins, then we would clearly see who would be the next GM of the Miami Dolphins in Alexander, which now works with the Chargers. He used to work with the Ravens. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Stephen Ross has the balls and the guts to pick up the phone and fire Mike McDaniel and hire John Harbaugh just a day or two after he was fired from the Baltimore Ravens. Leave me your thoughts down below. Would this fix the franchise that has been in mediocrity for the last 25 years? Also, thought if John Harbaugh gets hired by the Miami Dolphins, does Stephen Ross allow him to trade Tua Tagovailoa, even though it would be a $45 million cap hit if you trade him post June 1st, and bring in his own quarterback, either from the draft or via trade? Leave me your comments down below, and like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins.